it seemed like the Phillies were kind of done with doing anything big, but they meant big free agent signings. They traded for Jesus Luzardo after they were just talking about the Max Kepler signing. And before that, they did add a reliever to help the mix in Jordan Romano. But what do you think about Luzardo entering what is the second best rotation in baseball? I'll call it. I still give the Mariners number one. But for me, the Phillies look pretty strong as a number two. I know Dodger fans are probably going to jump in here. I would say this rotation has a little bit of an edge for me based on the durability, but I could be wrong here because the Dodgers rotation stuff-wise is crazy. But anyway, let's focus on this for a moment, and then we can rank it. Luzardo goes from the Marlins. There's two prospects, which you can learn more about if you watch our Hot Sheet show on the Baseball America YouTube channel later on. But the names are Starlin Caba and Amarion Boyd. Neither of them big power guys. Caba's the much bigger name here on many lists, a top 100 prospect in baseball. Good glove, good shortstop, good contact. Not sure if he's going to have the pop to be a star. But for the Phillies, Wheeler, Nola, Luzardo, Ranger Suarez, unless they trade him, Christopher Sanchez, and Andrew Painter might be the best pitching prospect in baseball who could show up at some point in that rotation this year.
Yeah, I'm with it. You know, a lot of people will go back and talk about how bad Jesus Luzardo's season was this past year, the injuries. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Scott, that's real. Bad baseball is contagious. A bad atmosphere is contagious. As a player, when you're in one of those atmospheres where you don't feel like your team's trying to win, you feel like you're also out there and you have to do everything for them to win as far as a pitcher, you know, going to once every 5 days, feeling like you have to go out there and throw a no-no. I think when, you know, with this move, and I've been screaming that somebody trade for him since last year, and then you give up, you know, no offense, these two prospects who right now, you know, prospects – we were told that means you haven't done anything lately, right? And then you get two guys who are very similar in their game. Like you said, bat the ball skills, decent defense, a lot of contact, and you have a chance to get a southpaw like Jesus Luzardo. I love this deal. One, he'll be extremely motivated to be on the field with that team, with those guys. We've seen that clubhouse. We've seen how live and how excited they are to compete. I think when you add this guy to the mix with those other southpaws, I think he's only going to build off of it. He's only going to get better. And like you said, now this is arguably the best rotation in baseball. The Dodgers are extremely deep with starters, but with just stuff-wise and history of health, you have to consider these guys one of the best in the game.
Yeah, good four-seam, two-seam, slider, changeup, four-pitch mix. He uses them all, and you're right. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was really shining. This past season, dealt with some injuries again. A couple of them, season was cut pretty short. So you're talking about the 5 ERA, 66 and 2/3 innings. There's definitely been health issues. That's the risk you're taking here, Cam, is, you know, 2023 is the only year that he went over 18 starts in his career, still young, also still in arbitration. He's only going to cost, it looks like, around $6 million, depending on how things go, either at ARB or when he settles. I mean, the value that he can provide if he is on the field and pitching for this team is a really good number 3 starter on a playoff team if he's clicking. So why not play the run prevention game if you're Philly? Because I think they're having trouble figuring out how much they can switch the position player group. They added Kepler, okay, but I don't know how much else they're going to do. I know they've been shopping Alec Bohm. Most of those guys are high costs, veterans. Some of them have no trade clauses. I think they looked around and were like, I don't know how much tinkering we can do, and this is a pretty good team. The concern is, Cam, I like the pitching. Will this lineup be able to hit really good pitching? In the regular season, I'm not worried. They should win 100-plus games again. But we've seen them flop in the playoffs last year, especially, and the year before was a big turnaround from the Diamondbacks pitching staff and Brent Strom to change up the game plan, and it completely froze them up. So it's the same roster you're going to roll out there. Can those veterans adjust and thrive in the postseason? They're big names, but we didn't see much from Trey Turner this past postseason. I'll pick a name like that. I mean, he's getting paid big bucks to be a dynamic X factor, and he just wasn't that for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they need to do a much better job of having quality at-bats up and down that lineup. I think when you look at the lineup, you know, I hate to say it, but it's very much Yankees-based or Yankees of the past. It's feast or famine, right? If they beat you, if they win the home run total, they're going to win. But I think they have to find a way with all of that talent to maybe take a step back, right? How about more quality at bats? How about putting more pressure on the starting pitcher? Let's try to get in the bullpen a little bit sooner because we're just stringing together quality at bat after quality at bat. You watch the Dodgers, right? They have big boppers, but there's so many quality at bats up and down the lineup that really just stress you out as a pitching staff. And I think that's where, as a group, I don't know if it's one or two guys trying to be the hero, but I think they need to just play within themselves. And I think also, too, what you do is you go out and you add a guy like Jesus Luzardo, so you bolstered that rotation to where if the bats are slow, you got guys in there that can give you, another inning or two to get it going. So I like the move. You're absolutely right. That lineup has to step up when it's time, and that's in the clutch moments in the playoffs. We know what they're going to do during the regular season, but they have to find a way, I think, to manufacture runs outside of the home run.
Yeah, that's my thing. Love the Phillies in the regular season, concerned about the lineup in the playoffs because
Not
you
that
need
athletic
offense
when you think
nowadays.
about it.
No, it's
Not
older. That's what happens.
older, not athletic. So it's like I think that's where the struggles really show up. At the end of the season and postseason.
Yeah, I mean the Mets certainly blitzed them.